Hey everybody, if you're new to the channel, I'm Dakota Mays, and today I'm going to do my absolute best job of helping you release your psoas. So that's just maybe you sit a lot for your desk job or whatever it is, or maybe you do a lot of jiu-jitsu, you point your knees into your chest, whatever it is in your life causing that main hip flexor to be tight and shortened. We're going to help you loosen that up in this video. So we're going to start today lying on our back. So go ahead and make your way to your back. And what we're going to do is some simple 90-90s. So, I got my hair bun right to where I can't rest my head on the ground. That's great. All right, anyways, we got our legs a little 90-degree angle, and we're just going to do some 90-90s. So drop the right knee down, knees drop to the left, and then back up. Left knee goes down to the front as we drop to the right. And just do this a couple times, side to side, at your own pace, just to sort of work through the hip joint a little bit. And then on the next one where you drop to the left, I want you to bring this right hand to this right hip point, and I want you to locate inside that right hip bone. Maybe give a little massage here. And as you're reaching that right knee to the front, I just want you to bring awareness to where this psoas might be. And then bring a deep breath there. Awesome. Inhale, come back up to the center. And exhale, falling to the right. Left knee shooting to the front. And this time your left hand comes to that left hip. Give a little massage here. Maybe you've never even massaged yourself here in your life, but we're going to do a little bit today, that's for sure. Awesome. On your next inhale, come back up to the front. Give a little shake. What we're going to do is bring a yoga block underneath our hip bone, underneath our sacrum. So take your time. If you need to use a pillow or a cushion around the house, do whatever you need to. But if you have a yoga block, bring it right underneath the sacrum. And we're going to drop the right leg flat here, and we're going to hug in the left knee to the chest. So as we hug in the chest, as we hug it in, you'll notice your tailbone curling in, and you'll feel a little sensation here in the psoas. So this is one of the best poses that I can have people hop into, and they really find out where the psoas is, because it's more of an internal stretch as the knee drops. And usually I have 2 blocks underneath me, but today I'm just going to use 1. But if you have 2 and you want to feel this deeper, you can throw 2 there. And again here, bring the fingers to the inside of that hip bone, and you can give a little massage here. Not super deep or anything, it's more superficial, but still just a little sensation to the area. Feels good. Awesome. So let's straighten out the left leg now and bend in the right knee. So again, as you hug it in, you'll feel the tailbone start to curl in, and this left leg want to kind of lift up to the ceiling, but since it's dropping, gravity's helping us, it stays down and adds that little stretching sensation to that left hip flexor psoas area. So now with the left hand here, give a little massage here. Just be your own masseuse for a second and enjoy it, breathing deeply here. So as we do our stretches, it's going to get a little bit more intense with every stretch. So with these ones, it's more subtle at first, just locating the psoas in general. Wonderful. Go ahead and let go of the leg. Bring the block out to the side. Hug both knees into the chest. Maybe give a little rock left and right. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and rock your way up. And we're going to meet in a sitting position. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, but from seated. So widen out your legs like so, a little 90-degree angle, hands behind you. Let's drop the legs to the left, and then right, and just go side to side a couple more times, and just loosening up the hip joint in general. And the next time you drop to your right, let's pause here, feel that knee reach to the front, and we're going to add a little twist, come to the back of the room. Maybe you face towards the back of the room, and while you're here, keep reaching that left knee to the front of the room and reach your chest up to the back of the room. So again, you'll feel that little stretch here in the inside of that hip point and in the low spine a little bit. Of course, it's a twisting pose. But here, I want you to feel that sensation for one more breath. Big inhale and exhale. As you inhale, let's come back up to the front, facing the front. Drop the knees to the left, twisting to the left. And again, this right knee, I'm shooting it towards you at the camera. Shoot it to the front of the room. And as you get yourself adjusted here in the back, reach your chest to the back of the room. So it's more of an internal reach here that I want you to find, that little connection inside your own body, whatever that feels like to you, inside that right hip point for one big breath. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale, coming back to the front. Wonderful. Give a little shake. What we're going to do now is swoop the feet under you. We're going to come into our down dog. So make your way to your down dog at your own pace. And just pedal it out here. Give a little massage to the hip flexors here just by pedaling. And we're going to pick up the pace a little bit in terms of the stretching. So whenever you're ready, let's take a big inhale. Reach this right foot up to the ceiling. As you exhale, step this foot down by that right thumb. And we're going to come up into our lunge pose. Big inhale. So once we're here, what I want you to do, I want you to tuck the tailbone under. So as you tuck the tailbone under, you'll notice this left hip flexor, you feel much more of a stretch. But as you drop the belly button down, you kind of take away from the stretch. Now you're more sitting into this glute region, this right leg. So I want you to keep the tailbone tucked here and play around that sensation. So as you tuck it in, maybe try to lock out that left knee a little bit more or keep it bent. Or just play around with it here. But again, as you keep the tailbone tucked, just like that first wind remover pose, you feel more sensations in the hip flexor because it wants to cause you to have an interior tilt like so. But we're not, we're keeping a posterior tilt. Messing around with this left knee for one more breath. Oh, I love this. Awesome. On your next exhale, hands wrap that right foot. Let's scoot this right foot out to the side. We're coming into a baby lizard pose. So here, usually you might have your knee drop down on the ground. You might feel more comfortable. But today, we want to lift the knee up. Maybe even it's just a little bit. You might bring a block under the knee. But we want to lift that left knee up so we can feel that stretch here on the left side, that left psoas. So from here, maybe rocking forward and back, maybe side to side a little bit, just to feel different sensations here in this pose. Wonderful. One more breath here. Reaching that left heel back, keeping the tailbone tucked again. Great. Now we're going to drop this right leg down, this right knee into pigeon pose. So we'll give you a different angle for this. For pigeon pose, for the sake of today, you might want to bring a block underneath the right hip, but it's definitely not needed. But if you're really tight here in this right leg, it's going to help a lot. So what we're going to do here, once you're squared up like so, I'm going to give you a left side view of what it'll look like for my left leg. What we're going to do is curl in the left toes and then play around with the left knee. So just like that baby lizard, as you lift up the knee, you feel more of a stretch here in your psoas region. So you can stay upright or you can come down your forearms. There's so many variations you can do here. Just play around with it. And pick up the knee, keep the tailbone tucked. Maybe you drop the knee. Lift it up and drop it. Just play around those micro movements, but as you keep the tailbone tucked, you keep that sensation there. Nice stretch for the psoas, and you can play around with this here. So maybe you keep the knee up, keep the tailbone tucked, hold it one last breath. Wonderful. Yeah, it's a tough one to hold there. And slowly come on up as you inhale, reach the chest up. And as you exhale, let's send this right leg to the back, come back to your down dog. Pedal it out. Take a breath here. Take your time. And again, as you pedal it out in down dog, you get a nice little massage and then it flexors out just by doing that. So let's go left side now. So let's inhale, bring that left leg all the way up. Exhale, step that foot down by the left thumb. Inhale, come into lunge pose here. So again here, usually we want to drop the belly button forward, but today we're tucking it in. And maybe that causes you to bend the right knee a lot, depending on how tight you are here in the hip flexors or quads. So, keeping the tailbone tucked, play around with the right knee. Maybe you barely lock it out, maybe barely extend it, or maybe I don't even really get to where I can lock out, because if I lock out, it starts to tilt me forward, you see? And I work on this a lot. So we're all wherever we're at in our journey, just explore where you're at, keeping the tailbone tucked, and playing around with that right knee, locking it out, or moving towards extending it, but keeping it bent a little bit. This is great. One last breath here. And on your next exhale, hands come to the ground. Bring that left foot out to the outside. So we're in baby lizard pose. You can drop the knee down for a second if you want. Just play around here. But what we want to shoot for is lifting up that knee, feeling the stretch here, and curling in the tailbone. So as you curl in the tailbone, that does so much for bringing a lot of engagement to the hip flexors. If you've never done that until today, then you're in for a new world. But here, keeping the tailbone tucked, maybe the knee, you can play around with it, drop it down and up, just feeling the different sensations as you keep the tailbone tucked. Let's do one more breath here. Wonderful. Let's drop the left leg down for pigeon pose here. Find whatever variation of pigeon pose that works for you today. And again, you can stay upright. I'll do this side upright instead of lying down, just for those of you who want to do it upright and feel more comfortable. Using the block if you need to under that left hip. So let's curl in the right toes. And here you're picking up the right knee, tucking in the tailbone slightly. Pigeon pose is definitely a pose where it causes you an anterior tilt and belly button drop forward. But again, we want to tuck in the tailbone today. Drop the right knee and lift it back up. Feel through that and just work through it. Play around with micro bending the knee and straightening it out. Maybe this side feels different than the last. But either way, you're definitely going to get a stretch to those hip flexors. Let's do a couple more. It's a tough one to keep the tailbone tucked, that's for sure. So I gotta keep reminding you, tailbone tucked. Let's find our last breath with the knee up, tailbone tucked, big breath. Whew, that feels good. What we're gonna do is sit down here, wrap that right leg to the front so we can lie down onto our back, hug the knees into the heart. Oh, that feels good. So what we're gonna do here is come back to that first pose that we were in, that wind remover pose with the block underneath our sacrum. Go ahead and straighten out the right leg, hugging in the left knee, and just feel the difference now. Like now, of course, you pulling in the knee, it tucks the tailbone for you. That makes more sense probably now. And you feel that little sensation, but now I feel like I can reach my right leg, my right knee down even more just from this 10 minutes of stretching that we just did. So maybe bring back a little massage that area if that felt good. And then let's switch sides. Hug the right knee in, straighten out the left leg. Oh yes, it feels so much more open. It's insane. Maybe give a little massage on this side. And as you explore your psoas, y'all, it's a never-ending game. It's just like your yoga practice. It's a practice for a reason. There's no end destination. It's just like maintenance and enjoying the process. And just, yeah, the psoas is also known as the muscle of the soul. It's a deep muscle that's very intertwined with our fight or flight state. So the subject goes so deep, can't really talk about fully right now. Gotta check out my Instagram and TikTok. I talk about it there in a lot of videos. But it's an important one, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and drop the right leg down, meet the left, and we'll just hold this little Shavasana variation and massage it out with both hands. Maybe you can dig a little deeper with the fingertips inside the hip bones. You're not really gonna hit it too much, but definitely check out my next video. I'm gonna be having an acupressure video for psoas, where I use my Sayulita tool. It is freaking heavenly. It will show you the light of day. It makes you, it's the best bittersweet pain I've ever felt in my life. But it really helps with open up these bad boys. So I hope today was a very helpful video. If you're experiencing that tightness and that shortening of your psoas, it can cause you to have the anterior pelvic tilt in regular day life, and this causes a lot of issues, from the ground up. So if you're dealing with those, I hope this helps. Just be consistent with these stretches and I promise you that little muscle of your soul will help loosen up over time. So until next time, hope you just go explore my other videos, and definitely stay tuned for that acupressure video for the psoas, because I think it's going to help you a lot more. So until next time, namaste. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I just want you all to know that I'm now offering retreats. So my next retreat is in October 12th to 16th, 2022 in Sayulita, Mexico. But if you can't make that one, or it just doesn't work for your schedule, there's plenty more to be planned. So definitely check out my links to get more information on that.